What's going on, guys? Styx here with the Token Minorities, bringing you week 1 of season 2 of the UBL, and this week we are up against Hera and his SL Banefica. I think that's how you say it. I really apologize. I am not really good with football names, European football, soccer for us Americans. And before I get into the team, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. And if you are new to the channel here at TTM, we are a collaborative channel, so there is more than just myself in the draft format content, which is why you clicked on this video. We also have content in the draft format from TTM Jolt and Crobat for the win, and then there is also TCG content on this channel as well, and we are adding a few new things, so stay tuned for that. So if any of that interests you, please feel free to subscribe to us, and also check out the Discord that will be linked in the description, where we do have channels for all different facets of Pokemon. But anyway, on to the team. Like I said, we are up against Hera this week, and I'm actually really excited because this is my first ever Wi-Fi draft league. I mean, every other draft league that I've done to this point has been Showdown, so I'm really excited to do this where you don't have as much information. The roles are different because I do not have a capture card. Considering this is kind of the end of the DS era, I really didn't want to spend $200 on a capture card, or actually at least $200 on a capture card that wouldn't even really be that useful. So I'm just kind of rolling with it, not having as exact numbers as you do on Showdown, but I mean, that's okay. You got better graphics, and just overall, I'm really excited, and I think this will be a lot of fun. But Hera's team has Landorus T, Superior, Cobalion. I'm going to switch back and forth, just letting you guys know ahead of time. Dragouge, Mesprit, Barbaracle, Mega Absol, Tapu Fini, Volcarona, Magneton, Licky, and the Z Crystal is going to be the Flynium Z with the threats like Landorus and Volcarona. That is a very terrifying combination of Z Crystals and Mons. So normally in my previous leagues, I have spent like 10 to 15 minutes going over the team. The team builder is pretty long, and in the past CPC season, it's even been separate videos. This season, I'm trying something a little bit differently, as I don't have as much time as I did during the CPC. I'm going to do a quick run through of the team, try to keep it between 5 to 10 minutes of just explaining the team, explaining what it is for, and explaining why I'm bringing the sets that I'm bringing, instead of going into a bunch of detail that I normally did. So just keep it shorter, so that way I can have the team builder and the game in one video, so that you guys don't just completely lose interest in the team builder. So yeah, just a heads up, that is what I am going to do for this entire season. But yeah, I'm finally done talking 3 minutes into the video, and I'm finally going to get into the team that I am bringing. And that the first thing that I'm bringing is a Nasty Plot, Roost, Ice Beam, and Psychic Mew. Now, Hera's team has such a good matchup against me that I really just kind of have to go balls to the wall offense in this. I have to go hyper offensive, otherwise trying to check things like Landorus T, Superior, Mega Absol even has a fantastic matchup against me, Volcarona, all of those things. If I try to defensively answer them, I'm going to have a bad time. Just plain and simple, I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'm having to go complete HO this week, complete with a Sash Rocks lead, which you will see in a little bit. But for the time being, the first mon that I'm bringing is a Nasty Plot, Roost, Ice Beam, and Psychic Mew. And really, this Mew is meant to lure in Absol and knock it out, as well as checking things like Lando T, being able to just hit his team hard, break through his team, pick up a couple kills, and set it up so my cleaners, Scolipede and Gardevoir, can potentially win the game. We decided I talked with Jolt about this set in particular. The rest of the team was really just kind of I came up with it, and initially I did have a Calm Mind Mew, but in this case I was like, you know what? Roost, we need Roost. We really do need Roost. We want the ability to have a little bit more longevity, be able to set up on things like a -2 Dragouge, a Mesprit, or something like a Tapu Fini, something that's a little bit more passive, so I can roost off the damage while also getting up my boosts with Nasty Plot. So that is what this Mew is designed to do. Get up a Nasty Plot, kill something, lure in the Absol, take the knockoff, and then kill that thing with Ice Beam. So really, Mew is looking to get at least 2 kills this game. If I don't get at least 1, though, then this Mew set is... yeah, I mean, this Mew is at least going to get 1 kill, hoping to get 2. The EVs is enough to outspeed Landorus, because I mean I want to be able to outspeed that thing naturally and just be able to hit it with Ice Beam in a situation where it comes in on Mew. And then the special attack is to be able to one-hit KO Mega Absol with +2 Ice Beam after Stealth Rock, and then the rest just thrown into HP and amongst the bulk so that I have maximum bulk to take his hits as well as possible. Next up we have a Chardy Berry Thundurus, and this is my Rock Polish Landorus Please Don't Sweep Me set. Just plain and simple, if Landorus is able to get up to +2 on something like Gardevoir, or really just Landorus can get up to +2 on anything not named Mew. Well, +2 speed anyway. I'm thinking that Landorus is going to be like +2, or is going to be either Rock Polish or Swords Dance. Swords Dance is way too easily checked, so I'm thinking it's going to be Rock Polish with Edgequake and then Z-Fly. I'm not thinking it's going to be Edgequake Swords Dance, just because that's a little bit, I don't know, I feel like that's really risky against my team, but at the same time it could work out very, very well. But either way, this is my Landorus Please Don't Sweep Me when you're at +2 speed set with the Chardy Berry, because I'll be guaranteed to live, and then HP Flying in conjunction with any other hit from a Mon on my team will be able to take it out. I have HP Flying, Psychic, and Thunderbolt as my coverage, as it covers his team pretty well. I mean, just really able to hit what I need to hit. This also keeps things like Volcarona from setting up on me, Superior from trying to come in on just like a relatively weak HP Ice. I mean, it's still Thunderous, so it's going to hit hard, but HP Flying hits significantly harder, can throw off some calcs if he's thinking I'm HP Ice. And then Agility is just kind of a way of being like, you know what, I have a free turn, Landorus is kind of low, I'm going to use this to really, really pressure his team, force out the Absol, force out the Sucker Punch, and then go from there. So yeah, that's what this set is for, just prevent Landorus and then also put huge, huge pressure on his team, which this Thundurus does. My lead is going to be a Focus Sash Kommo-o with Stealth Rock, Close Combat, Ice Punch, and Poison Jab, and really this set is very, very simple. What it's supposed to do: lead, get up rocks, get a hit off on something I have coverage for really everything on his team for at least a decent hit. Mesprit's the only one that it's kind of iffy, and that I still have Poison Jab, which I can potentially get the poison on, so that's pretty nice. And then Volcarona as well, but I don't know. If he wants to go Volcarona that early, I do have my Magmortar in the back, so I'm not as worried about that. I have coverage for everything that I really would want to get a hit off of. The speed is just guaranteed. Well, just try to outspeed Finny. Finny can speed time me if it's running Timid Max, but it has to run Timid Max in order to speed time me, and I'm thinking he'll try to creep somewhere along the line, so this Kommo will be able to outspeed and get a Poison Jab off if he tries to defog. And I mean, I still have Stealth Rock, Close Combat, and Ice Punch for the Landorus if that's what he decides to lead with. So yeah, that's my dedicated lead in Kommo-o. Next up we have a Mon that can potentially sweep with Swords Dance, Scolipede, and I'm running Adamant with Aqua Tail, Poison Jab, Earthquake, and a Life Orb. Now this is just kind of a come in and try to claim one or claim two or something like that. Just basically, if Scolipede can get up to +2 and I have rocks up, I pretty much just win the game. Yeah, Life Orb puts me slowly in range of Mega Absol, but at this point it's worth it. I just need to break his team as much as possible, and this Scolipede has all the power for that. With his Landorus, I'm thinking that if I can get this Scolipede in on a Tapu Fini, I can Swords Dance up, Landorus comes in, I knock that thing out with Aqua Tail, and then he'll have to try to revenge me, and if he does stay in with Finny as I set up a Swords Dance, then I will be able to Poison Jab, hit something very hard, and really just kind of try to punch a huge hole in his team. Scolipede, yeah, I am forfeiting the ability to outspeed things like, not Scolipede, I am Scolipede. I'm forfeiting the ability to outspeed things like Cobaline immediately, and Volcarona, but I'm thinking that, okay, I'm thinking +1, like I need Adamant in order to get the damage output that I need, because I believe that the difference between Adamant and Jolly will be knocking out Landorus after rocks with a neutral Aqua Tail. I think that's the calc, I'm not completely sure on that, but I do know that there was a big difference between Adamant and Jolly, which is why I decided to go with that. The speed is enough to guarantee to outspeed Landorus, and then just Adamant to be able to hit his hard, hit a Life Orb number so that I'm only taking 13 damage per turn instead of 14 that might come into play a little bit later, who knows. Next up we have my Mega Absol, Please Don't Sweep Me Mon, and you're kind of noticing a trend here. Gardevoir with a Choice Scarf in Dual Stab, Healing Wish, and Trick. Really, I'm just going to be clicking Moonblast the entire time. Like, Mega Gardevoir spams Moonblast very, very freely against him, and wow, I'm already going over my 10-minute mark. I'm sorry, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. But yeah, Moonblast is just freely spammable against him. Psyshock allows me to hit things like Dragouge harder, Volcarona harder. Healing Wish is if I want to bring back up a Scolipede or my Mew who have taken big hits but punched holes in his team and can potentially win the game late game, but I am thinking that Gardevoir will be my late game sweeper. I just only need Dual Stab, so that's why Healing Wish is there just as a tech option, and then Trick for situations late game where like a Mesprit might be able to stall me out, or I want to lock something into a move just so they can't, well, just so they can't stall me out and beat me with their coverage. And then finally we have Assault Vest Magmortar, which is my Volcarona and Superior Please Don't Sweep Me Mon, and this actually ends up checking both of them with Fire Blast, Rock Slide, Psychic, and Hidden Power Grass covering his team very, very well. Enough speed to guaranteed outspeed Barbaracle, who actually is a pretty big threat to me. Like, if Barbaracle just gets a Shell Smash up, there's a very good chance that I can just lose, so that's why I outspeed it guaranteed and have Hidden Power Grass. The Spadef is enough to guaranteed live modest +1 Volcarona's Supersonic Sky Strike after rocks. That's what, yeah, that's what the investment is for. So I mean, that's a pretty impressive calc in and of itself, but even if Volcarona doesn't get there, I still have a ton of Spadef for Superior and Volcarona. The 32 attack is enough to guaranteed knock out, I believe it's max HP Volcarona. It's something, I think it's 0 HP Volcarona. I just knock it out from full with Rock Slide, and then the rest is thrown into special attacks so that I can hit as hard as possible with like Fire Blast, Psychic, and HP Grass against his team, as those have pretty solid coverage overall. Yeah, Tapu Fini does wall this set completely, but Tapu Fini is also set up fodder for my Scolipede. So yeah, sorry, I know I said that I was going to try to keep these team builders a lot shorter than normal, but I credit that to me talking way too much in the beginning. But let's go ahead and jump right on over to the battle. Alrighty, here we are in the battle, and the first thing I'm noticing is that he brought all of the threats. You see the Lando T, the Superior, the Volcarona, the Mega Absol, and you even see the Cobalion, which actually turned out to be quite a threat in really building the team and looking at the speed tiers and whatnot. Then he also brought the Fini, which means that, I mean, it's probably going to be his defogger, but Fini is actually a great sign for me to see, as I do threaten it out with quite a bit. I use it as setup fodder for both Scolipede and Mew. And I'm also noticing that he did not bring the Dragouge or the Mesprit or Barbaracle, all three of which would be big problems for me. But, I mean, that being said, he still brought 6 Mons, which are very, very, very difficult for me to deal with. And yeah, I mean, that's just plain and simple what I'm going to have to do. I am leading with my Kommo-o, as I said, as that's my dedicated lead. And so let's just go ahead and jump right on into the battle. Alrighty, and like I said, I am going to be leading off with my Kommo-o. He does challenge me, Pokemon Trainer J. Ricky. Now, in all honesty, considering I had no idea that he went by J. Ricky, I was like, okay, I see this guy J. Ricky in my Festival Plaza. I have no idea who this is. And then he challenged me, and I was like, Hera, is that you? And he said yes, so I was like, okay. I was very, very confused for a second. But he does lead with his Cobalion. I mean, clearly is just going to be a lead when we go for a Volt Switch, as I am going to set up my rocks. I have no reason to try to close combat this early. Like I said, his most likely defogger is going to be this Tapu Fini, which I should at the very least speed tie. So if he is running max speed, then I'm hoping that I can potentially win the ones that matter. But either way, he brings in Fini. I am going to go straight for the Poison Jab after my rocks gauge damage on this Fini, as it does turn out to not just be defensive, but it is near max, if not max, as he is going to go for a defog, get rid of my rocks. And at this point, I'm not going to be able to 2-hit KO. I'm just going to go ahead and get my rocks back up, considering he does have the Volcarona, the Landorus, the Absol, all of which I need that rocks chip. I'm going to go ahead and go for the rocks once again. If he wants to defog spam, that's fine with me. His Fini is going to get back to near full, but at any point I could just Poison Jab and take him out, as he does just decide to take me out with a Moonblast. That is just fine. Kommo-o did its job, kept up rocks, got me information on this Fini, and I can just go from here. Now, I could go straight into my Scolipede and try to set up a +2, but I really want to keep Rock's pressure up, as that Volcarona is very scary, and also its rocks are necessary for Absol to be able to get knocked out by +2 Ice Beam. So I'm going to go into my Thundurus and just go straight for a Thunderbolt. I have no reason to overpredict, as he does make a very nice play, goes into Lando, but what I do get is information on the Lando and a little bit of chip, as I am going to be able to live whatever hit he wants to go for with my Charty Berry, able to fire off a Hidden Power Flying, not quite a 2-hit KO, as he is just going to go for a Stone Edge, and yeah, unfortunately my HP Flying is not going to be a 2-hit KO, as his Stone Edge will be on me. But at the same time, I'm slowly wearing this Landorus down. I'm getting it in range of just simple attacks from like Scolipede. I can just go for Poison Jab, my Gardevoir's Moonblast, etc. As he does make a nice play, goes into his Cobaline, as I am able to get some chip off on that. And that actually is very valuable information, as that tells me that that Cobaline is Assault Vest, and he is just going to knock me out with a Stone Edge here. So Thundurus did go down without getting a knockout, but it got very good damage on both Landorus and Cobaline, and I also got very valuable information on both of those. Now, considering this Cobaline is Assault Vest, I'm going to go straight into my Mew and just go ahead and Nasty Plot up. Whatever he goes into, I will be able to break through, hopefully, as he goes into his Tapu Fini. And unfortunately, even though I am going to get up to +2 at this point, and Psychic will be able to hurt it, because this is more than likely max HP Tapu Fini. If it's not, and I just got a weird roll, I don't even know, but I mean, this has to be max HP defensive Tapu Fini. I am just gonna have to be like, you know what? Rocks are important, but I've gotten chip damage off on Lando, I've gotten chip damage off on Cobaline. I just have to go for +4 to try to knock this thing out with a Psychic, as he does miss a Nature's Madness. Now that is very big in terms of getting my Mew low, and my Mew is going to be at near full health, as I am able to get off this Psychic, which does take out the Tapu Fini and force his hand. So yeah, Nature's Madness missed, really sucked, but I will cover the consequences of that later in the game had he hit it. He goes into his Superior, and I'm thinking, you know what? This Mew is still in a very good position. I can always get up another +2 on Cobaline. I can save it for later, as I do have a dedicated answer in Magmortar. With the Fini down, his Defogger is gone, Volcarona's at half. I'm okay to save my Mew for later, as he does just go for the Leaf Storm. That does 30, not 30%. That does 30 damage, which leaves me free to fire off a Fire Blast against anything on his team. I mean, it should basically claim a KO right here, as nothing wants to switch in. Volcarona is going to take half from the Stealth Rock, as you see, and Fire Blast, if he's just an offensive set, will be able to knock him out, as he is revealed to have a pretty significant amount of HP, just barely lives that, and so Magmortar unfortunately is going to have to take a Z-Fly in order to knock out this Volcarona. So I mean, unfortunate roll right there. I did talk to him after the game, and it was a roll in his favor to live the Fire Blast after Rocks, so had I gotten that, then it would have been like, it was a roll in his favor, like plain and simple, so it's okay that he lived. I mean, Magmortar is going to be at significantly less health, but I mean, I still take basically nothing from that and am able to knock out Volcarona with a Psychic. So I get rid of his Z user. It is not Lando, which tells me that, okay, this Lando is 100% Yache Berry. If it's slower than my Thundurus, and also, I mean, if it's slower than my Thundurus was willing to stay in on Stone Edge, it's 100% a Yache Berry. He's going to go into that right here, and I am just going to save Magmortar for later. I mean, I can still take a +2 Leaf Storm from Superior, and I can potentially just knock something out. So I'm going to go straight into my Mew, take the Earthquake from the Lando, and as you can see, that actually doesn't do a lot of damage. Like, that really did not do a whole lot at all, which means I am going to be able to get off the Ice Beam, knock out the Landorus, and Mew is able to claim its second KO of the game. So like I was saying, I wanted Mew to be able to get 2 kills, which it did. Very fortunate for me. He is going to be able to go into his Superior right here and fire off a Leaf Storm or 2 in order to knock out my Mew, but at this point, I'm noticing that my Scarf Gardevoir has the potential to clean up the game if I get chip damage off on Cobaline and chip damage off on the Superior. Mew is able to live the Leaf Storm. I'm able to go for the Ice Beam, take the Superior down into range of Moonblast from my Gardevoir, and that is honestly perfect for me. Yeah, he's going to be able to get up to +4, But at this point, Superior's in range. Gardevoir can come in, claim a kill. I'll either KO the Superior, 2-hit KO the Cobaline, or OHKO the Absol, and this is looking very, very good for me. All I need is a little bit more damage on the Cobaline in order for my Gardevoir to be able to win the game by just spamming Moonblast. But for the time being, I'm going to bring my Gardevoir in, fire off my Moonblast, claim my KO, see what he wants to do. And I mean, he has to go Cobaline right here. He has absolutely no choice. And I'm thinking that Scolipede might have to be my way of getting the chip damage, well, will have to be my way of getting chip damage on this Cobaline in order to put it in range of Gardevoir, as I'm not going to be winning with Scolipede, as Sucker Punch and Life Orb will slowly put me in range, well, will probably knock me out. So I am going to sack off my Magmortar to this Cobaline, go into my Scolipede after the fact, and if I miss a Stone Edge, well, then awesome, I'll be able to KO this Cobaline with a Fire Blast. But unfortunately for me, fortunately for him, he does hit his third Stone Edge of the game. So I mean, wow, like he was very, very ballsy running Stone Edge, and I mean, like, it makes sense. It was the good play, and it did pay off for him. So regardless, at this point, I'm going to be able to go into my Scolipede, and all I need is a little bit of damage off on this Cobaline in order to win the game. That's all I need in order for Gardevoir to guarantee to win the game. I don't get crit, as he reveals to be a special Cobaline, and I am able to hit that thing with an Earthquake, get the guaranteed damage that I need for Gardevoir to win the game, and basically this is GG at this point. But I did some calcs and noticed that Absol has a very, very small chance to live an Adamant Life Orb Poison Jab from Scolipede, and the only way he can win at this point is Absol getting that super lowest roll, Swords Dancing up, and Sucker Punching. So instead of knocking out this Cobaline, I'm going to go ahead and Swords Dance up with my Scolipede. And honestly, I could have just attacked here, died to my Life Orb, and it would have been fine. But I was like, you know what? I just had it in my mind, need to bring Gardevoir in, need to bring it in and just Moonblast my way to victory. So I am going to sack off my Scolipede instead of attacking, because at this point, I can just bring Gardevoir, and I have the guaranteed win. Even a crit from Mega Absol cannot KO me. And so what I was saying, elaborating further on the play, so Mega Absol, if I get absolute min with Adamant Life Orb Poison Jab from Scolipede, Mega Absol can live, and if it got up to +2, if it had Swords Dance and Sucker Punch, then it could just win the game, because it would be able to knock out my Scolipede, and then +2 Sucker Punch would be able to knock out my Gardevoir. So basically I just could not let Absol come in on my Scolipede. I had to get my Gardevoir in there, or I had to not let Absol come in on Scolipede when Scolipede was at neutral. Once I got to +2, I should have just attacked, but meh. I wanted to get Gardevoir more kills, as I am able to live that Sucker Punch. As you can see, I would have even lived a crit from the Mega Absol, and I am able to take that thing down with a Moonblast, and we are able to take Week 1 of the UBL by a score of 1-0. So that was a very, very, very good game, Hera. I mean, 1-0 is as close as it gets, and yeah, I'm just like very relieved to be able to pull out a victory in my first ever Wi-Fi Draft League match, because normally I'm all about the calcs, all about being able to see what percentages, playing those percentages, and so having to go more by feel and more just by like eyeballing it is something I'm not used to. So just very, very satisfied by being able to pull out the victory in this sense. But anyway, back to the Nature's Madness miss. I did say that I was going to talk about this later in the game, or not later in the game, but at the end, and I want to address that, because that was very, very big in terms of my Mew being put at a range. Well, basically my Mew wasn't at half, my Mew was basically at full when he missed the Nature's Madness. And so by missing the Nature's Madness, what it allowed me to do is still have my Mew at full and play it as I did, and which eventually led to me winning the game. Had he hit the Nature's Madness, my Mew would have been at +4. I would have just gone for the Psychic, knocked out the Finny, and he showed multiple times that Superior was his switch-in to my Mew at that point. Superior was the switch-in to Mew, knocking it out, or trying to go for Leaf Storm, get some damage off on it, etc., etc. And so had he gone Superior, I would have gone Magmortar like I did in the game, and then Mew would have just been at a little bit under half. And it would have been at around, I believe the roll would have been like 80 85 or 80 plus health, and then the Landorus did 80 damage to me with the Earthquake, so Mew would have still come in, chewed the Earthquake from Landorus, and I still would have been able to get an Ice Beam off. But let's say that Landorus did KO me. Say that he got like a higher roll, or I did my math wrong, and Mew would have come in later and been KO'd by the Earthquake. What I would have been able to do is go into my Scolipede, and at that point, he just had the Cobalion that would have taken the necessary chip. Landorus would have gone down to an Aqua Tail. Absol and Serperior more than likely would have gone, well, Serperior 100% would have gone to Adamant Life Orb. Gone down to Adamant Life Orb, Poison Jab, and Mega Absol as well, more than likely. So had Mew gone down there, I would have been able to go into Scolipede, get up to the +1 that I would have needed to outspeed the Cobalion, Serperior, and the Absol, get the KO on Landorus or KO something else. Because if he had gone Cobalion, Aqua Tail into Earthquake, KO'd it. Serperior was one-shot by Poison Jab, and Absol, unless I got absolute Mineral, was also one-shot by Poison Jab. So had Mew gone down at that point, Scolipede still would have been able to come in and really, I think, honestly put me in a little bit better of a position. But as it stands, he did miss the Nature's Madness. In my opinion, it didn't matter overall in terms of the outcome of the game, but I mean, nonetheless, hacks takes a toll. It takes a mental toll at the very least, so I'm very sorry about that. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed watching my first ever Wi-Fi battle. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.